welcome the President of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola. We feel very privileged to have you here to celebrate this very special day and this great anniversary here together with us in Aachen. So let me extend a very cordial welcome to you, dear Ms. Metsola, dear Roberta. I would also like to warmly welcome our guests of honor, Mr. Keupen, President of the State Parliament of North Rhine-Westphalia, Mr. Oliver Krischer, Minister for the Environment, Nature Conservation and Transport of the Federal State of North Rhine-Westphalia. I would also like to welcome Mrs. Patricia Kreuz-Villois, President of the Parliament of the German-speaking Community of Belgium, Sabine Verheyen, First Vice President of the European Parliament, Mr. Jürgen Rüttgers, he is a former Minister President here in North Rhine-Westphalia, can't see him right now, Mr. Armin Laschet, former Minister President, a warm welcome to you, Dr. Tim Grüttemeier, City Councillor, Mr. Pöttering, and all members of the State Parliament, the Bundestag, the National Parliament, the European Parliament, and members of the Consular Corps. I would also like to welcome the members of the Charlemagne Prize committees. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you. We've got the former Lord Mayor, Dr. Jürgen Linden, at the head of the Charlemagne Prize Board of Directors. I would also like to welcome all members of the Aachen City Council and all friends of Europe. Today is a day of remembrance, it's a day of inspiration, and it is a day where we embark on a new journey, a new beginning. Here in Aachen, in the very heart of Europe, we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Charlemagne Prize. It's 75 years during which we've honored people who have brought Europe together, unified Europe, strengthened and renewed it. It's 75 years during which Aachen has become a state on which European history has been written. But this day is way more than just an anniversary ceremony or celebration. It is a responsibility for all of us. It's an obligation, because the idea that the Charlemagne Prize symbolizes is more topical and urgent than ever. The founders and foundresses of the Charlemagne Prize, and I'm sure that all the founders were backed up by strong women, had a vision. It was a vision born from the ruins and the debris of the Second World War. They were inspired by a deep desire that never again nationalism, war and hatred were to destroy this continent. They believed in the power of understanding, in the power of democracy, and in the tireless and relentless will to build bridges instead of erecting walls. This vision cannot be taken for granted. It has to be won anew, time and time again, for each generation. Today, 75 years later, Europe is again facing enormous challenges. We are experiencing today that peace in Europe is no longer to be taken for granted. We recognize that democracy has to be defended. It has to be protected against populism, against extremism, and against the enemies of an open and liberal society. We are faced with the task of making Europe more sustainable, more digital and fairer. And yet, the Charlemagne Prize shows us that there have always been people who take the lead, who lead the way, who are courageous, who are prepared to shoulder responsibility and to fight for Europe, not with weapons, but with their ideas, using diplomacy and the power of persuasion to fight for our European values. For us in Aachen, the Charlemagne Prize is more than just an award. It's part of our identity. Charlemagne, who ruled here in this city over 1,200 years ago, he laid the foundations for a Europe of diversity. We are building on this tradition today with the Charlemagne Prize Academy, with the Charlemagne Youth Prize, with any number of projects events that bring young people together from all parts of Europe, because Europe belongs to them. It belongs to our children and grandchildren. They will be the ones to shape it in future, and they are already doing it today with their courage, creativity, and a clear stance in favor of democracy, human rights and solidarity. Ladies and gentlemen, this anniversary is a moment where we want to take a look back, but even more so it is a moment where we are embarking to reach new shores, new beginnings. The European idea needs all of us. It needs our commitment, it needs our passion and our belief that if we join forces together, we can achieve way more than every one of us working single-handedly. Let's make the most of this anniversary year. Let's make it an occasion and platform to engage in dialogue about the future of Europe, to encourage young people to stand up for Europe and to show that Europe is not a distant institution but a living promise for freedom, justice and peace. The Charlemagne Prize is a gift to Europe. Let's work together to ensure that this gift will live on for the next 75 years, for Aachen, for Europe, for the future. Thank you very much.